All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to a new school year. Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 1.1. And let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Miss Rogers, could you do that?
All right, everyone standing right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's go ahead and move to the 1.3, adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any suggestions?
Yes, thank you, Madam
Okay.
President. Staff would like to postpone item 7.1, special education update. We'll move that to another meeting, and then items 10.5 to 10.14 will also postpone, bring to another date.
So what was the second one, 10.5 and then
To
10?
10.14,
Okay,
starting on page 58.
okay. Any other suggestions? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All's in favor say aye.
Aye.
All's opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. We do have Dr. Marsden will be speaking for the inspirational message 1.4. Go ahead, Dr. Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. And, first our hearts go out to and sincere condolences to the Del Vallejo leadership and STEAM Academy staff, students, family of the math teacher, Nancy Mangana. Her life was tragically taken, as you know, early Saturday morning in a cowardly act of violence. Nancy will be remembered as a very kind and dedicated new teacher who was a product of San Bernardino City Unified School District system and a Royal Valley High School graduate. She touched the lives of many and will never be forgotten. And I want to read a few more things about her, but first I'd like to call for a moment of silence. Thank you. So, we have about 3,300 classrooms in our district with 72 schools, and on the fourth day of school, I happened, of all the classes to walk into, I walked into Nancy's class. And I didn't realize she was just in her fourth day of teaching ever. It was actually, when I walked in, I thought I was walking to the classroom of a very experienced teacher. And she was doing just a fantastic job. And many of you may know Del Vallejo has recently been through a rebranding, a repurposing of their school, which has really undergone a big change, not just in name, but in focus and what they do. They're now the Del Vallejo STEAM and Leadership Academy. That's STEAM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. And Nancy, being a math teacher, was the M in STEAM. She was doing just an exceptional job, looking like a veteran teacher just within her first couple days. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and then I want to read a little message that was written by one of the staff members in remembrance. Nancy Mangana, although we only had pleasure of enjoying her radiant smile and infectious energy for a short time, it was just enough time for one to recognize she was a woman destined for greatness. Through her work ethic, her willingness to grow and learn, it was apparent to all she encountered that she was dedicated to focusing on results. Whether you knew her for a few days or years, it didn't take long to realize her calling was to serve others as she put her sense of purpose on display daily through the positive passion she exuded when interacting with her students and colleagues. Where she will always be known as a new teacher, she knew the basics of creating an effective learning environment as if she were a veteran. Her emotional commitment to providing high-quality instruction for her students while establishing parameters of trust through her communication and collaboration with others were unwavering. As evidenced by the interactive notebook she helped her students design or the gallery walk she conducted with her students in front of the superintendent during the first week of school as a new teacher. How many of us will be able to add that to our legacy? Nancy's excellence permeated the walls of Del Vallejo. These are just a few things that proved to be a lasting testament to Nancy's professionalism as she embarked on a promising career as an educator. We at Del Vallejo Leadership and STEAM Academy will eternally be grateful to have had Nancy in our lives, if only for a moment. And I just want to thank the staff for their writing this memory of her. And I want to just express our prayers are with the family. And I'm just grateful that Miss Mangania was able to achieve her dream. She worked hard to do something that she was passionate about, and that was teaching the children of San Bernardino City Unified School District, and we're forever grateful. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then Dr. Flores, you had a comment?
Yes, I just wanted to add, Dr. Marsden, that she's not just from our community. She's one of our own. She's a graduate of Arroyo Valley High School. And I know that we have Arroyo Valley in the house. Can you raise your hands, all of you that are here from Arroyo Valley?
That's great. Thank you for being here.
And she was you sitting in the audience. And her dream was to be a teacher, to come back and teach in her community. And so you should be very proud of that legacy. And I know some of you are here who want to be teachers as well. And we need you. We need you to be teachers in our school district. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And I do want to reiterate what was mentioned earlier on behalf of the board. We are sorry for the whole family, our condolences for the whole family. And Nancy Magaña touched the lives of many and will never be forgotten. So prayers for the family on behalf of the board. We will go ahead and go to 2.1 resolution in support of California High School Voter Education Week. I will give that to Mr. Tillman. If you can read that, 2.1.
My pleasure, Madam President. Resolution in support of California High School Voter Education Week, whereas the right to vote is a fundamental underpinning of democracy, one that must be personally cherished, practiced, and championed as a civic duty, and whereas young people play a critical role in our democracy by helping to choose the people who will lead us and by voicing their opinions on the issues that are more important to them, and whereas California has an online tool that allows eligible 16 and 17-year-olds to pre-register to vote and then automatically become active voters once they turn 18. And by reaching out early and often to students, we can help them develop a strong and lasting appreciation for the value of voting. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District declares September 16th through September 27th, 2019 as High School Voter Education Week and encourages district schools to participate in activities that help register and pre-register eligible students to vote while encouraging others to become informed citizens committed to being active voters once they reach voting age. And I'd like to add, encourage our young people to one day run for office. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I do want to mention, I would like to see how we're actually doing this throughout the district and what this looks like at school sites. I mean, this would be important because one thing is we're saying it, but what does it actually look like on campus?
We'd be happy to provide you
Perfect, thank
board
you.
correspondence.
And then Dr. Flores?
I think this is a very good resolution that we're going to pass because looking at all the young people in the audience, it's very important that you exercise your right to vote, and every vote counts. And I hope that you also help participate in registering kids to vote, not just at Arroyo Valley, but all our high schools. And like Mr. Tillman said, we need you to run for office, to be prepared to be the future leaders, not just in our community or wherever you land. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Let's go to 2.2, resolution recognizing Latino Heritage Month. If we can have Dr. Flores read that.
Thank you, Madam President. resolution recognizing Latino Heritage Month. The San Bernardino City Unified District joins organizations in towns and cities in our state and nation in the month-long celebration of Latino heritage and culture. Whereas nationally known as Hispanic Heritage Month, the period from September 15th through October 15th is a time to honor the many historical and present contributions of Latino Americans. And whereas Latinx Americans have roots in Europe, Africa, and South and Central America, and have cultural ties to Mexico and the Caribbean, and this diversity has brought invaluable perspectives, experiences, and values to our district. And whereas Hispanic Americans, a history of serving our nation, is the 2019 theme of Hispanic Heritage Month, and whereas the district celebrates the vibrant Latino American spirit that influences our nation, and also celebrates the practices of commitment to family, to love of country, and to respect for others, which are virtues that transcend ethnicity, reflect the American spirit, and are exemplified in the Latino American community. And therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District recognizes September 15th through October 15, 2019 as Latino Heritage Month, and directs that appropriate activities for its observance take place in our district schools.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All
Aye.
opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. 2.3, resolution recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. Dr. Hill, could you read that for us, please?
Thank you, Madam President. 2.3, resolution recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. Whereas good attendance is essential for student achievement and high school graduation, and developing the habit of regular attendance prepares students to succeed from cradle to career. And whereas the San Bernardino City Unified School District is dedicating resources and attention to reducing chronic student absenteeism and is partnering with teachers, parents, and school leaders to make attendance a top priority by raising public awareness, establishing targets and goals to ensure accountability. And whereas chronic absenteeism impacts low-income students and children of color particularly hard if they lack resources to make up for lost time in the classroom and are more likely to face barriers to getting to school. And whereas chronic absences can be significantly reduced when schools, parents, faith, business, community leaders, and elected officials work together to promote good attendance and address hurdles that keep children from getting to school. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District recognizes that greater attention is needed to improve student attendance, and San Bernardino City joins the nation in recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to reducing chronic absenteeism to give children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. I'm going to go ahead and read a statement on, just for the purpose of transparency, and I'll go ahead and read the following. The Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District take the allegations made against Dr. Wiseman very seriously, and we are cooperating fully with the law enforcement investigation. We want to assure our community will remain committed to student safety. Wiseman has served as the San Bernardino City Unified School District as teacher, vice principal, principal, and most recently as assistant superintendent of human resources. He is currently on leave due to the confidentiality laws, and to ensure the integrity of the investigation, the district cannot release further information. With that, we're going to go ahead and move to 3.0 for closed session public comments, and I believe we do have comment cards. for a closed session item.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, we do. And just as a reminder to the public, there are times when the board might have items brought to them of a personnel matter and they're not able to comment on personal matters. So please don't read that lack of comment as not being interested or caring. So just want to mention that to you. And with that, we have several speakers that I understand have organized themselves to speak. So the board welcomes Kenya Vizcaino, Laura Guterres, Martha Campoverde, Melissa Herigi, and Flora Tio. Come on down. You are welcome. You can come together as a group, or if you want to come individually, it's up to you.
Let me go ahead and read. Typically, for the closed session public comments, is it also 30 minutes for the whole group? Is it all
Yeah,
one?
so we'll set the timer for 25. You'll have plenty of time to share your message
Okay.
with the board. Thank you. Good evening and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenji Vizcaino, and I am in 10th grade at Arroyo Valley High School. I'm here to tell you about an incredible teacher that I have at our school. His name is Mr. Bueller. He taught our CTE class and taught us a lot of science, and his class was a very happy spot. Every time I would go, I felt this different kind of energy, and he was a teacher that could touch anybody's hearts, no matter who you were, no matter the situation. Anytime anybody needed something, needed help, or felt bad, or was hurt, or something happened to them and they needed help from somebody, they would go to him because they understood that he was an incredible human being that could really help you out. I remember one time when I was in his classroom, I was completely stumped on one of his presentations, as some of us are sometimes, right? And he walked over to me and he looked at me and he explained to me that I shouldn't be really afraid of what I have to say or what I have to present, as long as I believe in what I'm saying. And he gave me a little bit of a lecture that lasted a while. And after the lecture, I felt so motivated to work, and I completely killed my assignment. And right afterwards, he explained that that's his job as a teacher, and as he goes on, he does that to every other student, and he's incredible. Whenever we would present, he would make sure he had all eyes on us, make sure the whole room was quiet, make sure everybody was respecting us, because he understood that we were all individuals and we all had opinions to say, and I really love that about him. Just before we would do an assignment or go out to do something about it, he would always hit us with the phrase, "Go get 'em, Tiger," to encourage us to continue. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marta Campoverde, and I would like to read this short description of my teacher, Mr. Bueller. Mr. Bueller wasn't just my teacher, but he was also a mentor. He encouraged me to do better every time, not just in school, but also in life. He would always tell me that he was proud of me and he believed in me. And hearing that, especially when I would be scared, like to take a test or when I had a presentation, it really meant a lot to me. And he is always trying to help every student to make sure they are not falling behind. And for that reason, that why he inspired me to become a teacher. A close friend of mine was having a hard time at school 2 years ago. Bueller was quick to notice her personal change. He gave her support and reassurance that she will be okay. It was because of that hard time she had to get homeschooled, and Mr. Bueller will always ask me how she was doing. One day she came to visit him at school, and the first thing he said to her was, "Will you be okay?" And that really meant a lot to her, just knowing that she was cared about and that she will always have a home in Bueller's class. I'm proud to say that her and I had our first day at Valley College yesterday. Many people think that starting at a community level, it's not enough. And I myself thought that at one point, but Mr. Bueller told me that college is college no matter where I attended. I will still make it where I needed to be because I am strong, smart, and because he believed in me. All he would want for us, his students, is to never just take a break from school, whether it was a trade school, community college, or a 4-year. He is definitely the core teacher that played a huge part of where I am today. He always believed in me and saw my potential, just as he continues to do with his students today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martha.
Good afternoon. My name is Flor Tello. I attend Arroyo Valley High School. I am part of Core Academy, a family of teachers and students. I've been part of this amazing family since freshman year when I walked into Mr. Beeler's class, also known as Grandpa Beeler. As a freshman, I was not the best student. However, Mr. Beeler, he accepted me. Last year, my junior year, I had a presentation to do. I was nervous, but I looked at Beeler and he nodded and smiled. That made me feel more confident. And at the end, I did really good. Beeler has always been the person that makes you feel safe, supported, and cared for. He makes learning enjoyable in his class. And over the summer, I went camping with Core Academy. I was also placed with Mr. Beeler and his group. From singing to hiking and volunteering, it was an unforgettable experience, especially having Beeler by our side. Mr. Beeler is what makes Core. I highly doubt that my senior year will be complete without Beeler. Core activities won't be the same. My graduation will be complete. Mr. Beeler has seen me grow into the person I am today. Not having him shake my hand while I receive my diploma will completely break my heart. He is an amazing teacher, an incredible mentor, and he has impacted my life in so many good ways. I don't ever want to say goodbye to him. I read a quote not too long ago that reminded me of Beeler. It read, "To the world you may be just a teacher, but to our students, to your students, you are a hero." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Teo.
Okay. Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm a Core Academy and an Arroyo Valley alumni. I am here with my brother, who is a junior, and my sister, a freshman in Core Academy. They're right there.
All right.
What makes Core Academy so unique are its teachers and their love and compassion towards their students, which is why one of the main reasons why I chose Core Academy in the first place when I first joined, when I went to Arroyo. When I was in 9th grade, I came across some conflict with another student, which resulted in being attacked by that student. And I was afraid to go back to Arroyo, and my mom was afraid for me too. And she managed to switch me to a different school, and 2 years later, I had to go back to Arroyo. Feeling anxious and scared, I didn't want to go back. And so one of my closest friends, she recommended me Core Academy. And a week before school started, she took me to go meet the teachers. And one of those first teachers that I met was Mr. Beeler. And when I first met him, he broke the ice, making jokes like he usually does, and asked me about the school I came from and talked to me more about Core. I left his classroom feeling welcome and more confident about coming back to Arroyo. As the years passed, memories were created, laughs were shared, and lessons were learned. I realized that my last year at Arroyo was approaching, and I wasn't prepared for the obstacles that I was going to have as an undocumented student, especially because at that time, Arroyo Valley didn't have much resources for undocumented students. And Mr. Beeler and a couple other core teachers, they helped me find the resources available in my community in order for me to go, try to fill out my California GMAC, fill out scholarships to help pay for college. And honestly, I thought I wasn't able to go to college, but because of his help, this past June, I graduated from Cal State San Bernardino, and because...
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
And so if it weren't for teachers like Mr. Beeler that supported and encouraged students like me, I probably would have never graduated. And because of his passion of helping students, it's one of the reasons why I aspire to be a school counselor. I want to be able to make a positive impact in students' lives just like he did with mine. Which is why I also encourage my siblings and other students to join Core, because I truly believe that teachers like Mr. Beeler are the reason why students strive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hedeke.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. I would like to read a prepared statement regarding Mr. Beeler, a teacher at Arroyo Valley High School. Hello, my name is Laura Gutierrez. I am a parent of 2 former students who graduated from Arroyo Valley High School. One in 2016, the other just this past year. Both of my daughters are students of Mr. Beeler. From when they were in the 9th grade through their 12th grade years, Mr. Beeler has been a great role model and mentor for my daughters as well as many other students. Not only did he make my daughters feel safe, but happy to be in school. He is a teacher who not only teaches respect, but he has also taught students never to give up. He is an amazing teacher who cares deeply about his students. As a parent who has been involved in the Core Academy since 2015, I have become familiar with Mr. Beeler's personality and ways of teaching. My daughters and many other students will tell you this to this day, that he has an outgoing personality, has lots of patience for his students, and will take charge when it is the best interest of any student. I have not only heard from my daughters, but others, that he is a very dependable person, but witnessed it myself. I have had my daughters attend mentor nights, and he is there to be sure students are getting what they need to be successful in high school and after they graduate. Many times I will stop in after school. He is in his room making sure things are just right for the next day or helping students with their work. He makes sure his students understand the subject before moving on, and also helps his students with other classes they might be having trouble with. He's there when students need a push academically, and also checks in on his students when they are having an off day. Most people who joke around do not gain respect from others, especially children. But Mr. Beeler's students have all the respect in the world for him. It has been an honor to become acquainted with Mr. Beeler, and has also been an honor to experience the positive impact that Mr. Beeler has had on my daughters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments tonight, all of you.
Okay, Dr. Flores?
Yes, thank you for coming tonight. Could all of you that are here in support of Mr. Bueller please stand? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and go to 2.3. Board will now adjourn to closed session. We will be back shortly.
Oh, yes,
Dr.
Yeah, no, I just want to commend everybody for coming out tonight. I mean, when people show up, it does make a difference. And the statements you guys gave were great statements. And the young lady who talked about going to Valley College, I went to Valley College, and was that 37 years ago, I heard the same thing. And
look at him now.
And look at me now, she says, but I do computer work, and I'm in charge of people who went to USC and UCLA and Stanford, everything else. So don't belittle yourself because you're going to Valley College. You're going to go on and do great things. And I'm proud of you, and thanks to all of you for coming down and making your great statements. I had 2 daughters that graduated from Royal Valley also. I know Dr.
My daughter
Flores'
graduated from it. I'm very proud of all of you.
Yeah,
very proud of all of you.
Very proud of you. So thanks for coming out, because we have these meetings, but we all conjure up our own ideas of students, and they're never as good as the students that you are. Yes. So thank you for coming out tonight, and congratulations to all of you.
Go Hawks.
I love you, Donnie.
Yes, and just the fact that you all came down to speak and voice is amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll
everybody.
see you in a bit.
Yep. Sit in the front row.
We are waiting for one board member, so we can go ahead and reconvene. Yes, so we're going to go ahead and reconvene. I will now open the public, wait, hold on. Oh, yes, I apologize. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the appointment of the following employees: Maroney Colleen, Elementary School Vice Principal, effective date, work year, and salary to be determined, funding 035.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. We have to vote, we have to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Congratulations. And I do have to mention, you also attended CAG. It was different type of trainings, right, through the school district, our gate training that we had here. So I know you are an amazing staff, a teacher, and so forth. So thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. You'll do great things. Oh, homegrown. Even better. Even better. Thank you so much. And congratulations again. We will now go ahead and go to 5.0, which is I will now open the public hearing. 5.1, tentative agreement, Article 6, wages, Article 9, hours, Article 11, employee evaluation procedures, Article 14, leaves, Article 15, reimbursement, expenses and materials, Article 19, classification, and Article 24, term of agreement between San Bernardino Unified School District and California School Employees Association and its Chapter 183. Do we have any comment cards, Dr. Marsden, we have for this particular part of the agenda? Do we have any comment cards for 5.1?
We don't, but I'm going to have Dr. Volkermer, I think, might have just a brief comment.
So I need, what a great return to human resources for Harold. I want to apologize to our partners and friends from CSEA. One of the agreements did not get into the board agenda this evening. I apologized to Jason and both Jason and Denise. I was just an oversight. There's no problem with it. It's just an oversight at this point. So we'll bring, my commitment to them was we would remedy it as quickly as possible. So we would remedy it as quickly as possible. So we can't read it in, obviously. It's not here to be read in, but we'll fix it as quickly as we can.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Can be resolved.
Madam President, don't we have to say that we pass it with the amendment? No, we don't? It's fine? Okay, all right, okay.
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 And so then it says I have to read this little part. Be resolved that the Board of Education adopts the tentative agreement, Article 6, wages, Article 9, hours, Article 11, employee evaluation procedures, Article 14, leaves, Article 15, reimbursement expenses and materials, Article 19, classification, and Article 24, term of the agreements between San Bernardino Unified School District and California School Employees Association, and its Chapter 183. Okay, let's go ahead and move to public comments. Dr. Marsden, do we have any?
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, we do. The board welcomes Mr. Alfredo Aguero.
Alfredo Arguero. And I just want to read really quickly as you're coming forward.
Oh, did we miss? I apologize. One moment. I think we may have missed. Did we miss?
Did we miss one?
We just voted on 5.1
Oh,
or 5.2.
thank you.
So we have 5.2,
We have a
5.3.
5.2.
We can always go back.
But we can go back because we're already 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll go back then.
We'll
Okay,
go
thank you.
back? Okay, all right.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Aguero.
this is
You're
a
welcome. Please come on up.
This is a time during the agenda when the Board of Education is prepared to receive public comments and members. So this is basically 5 minutes or less, and you'll see a timer if it's not back there. But go ahead, proceed.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mi nombre es Alfredo Agüero
My name is Alfredo Arguero.
y la razón por la que estoy aquí es porque estamos teniendo problemas todavía con lo de los estatutos del CAC.
The reason why I'm here today is because we're still having situations and problems with the statutes
Y-
in the CAC meetings.
Y hemos tenido una mala representación en cuanto al plan de presupuesto que se presentó en educación especial.
And we're still having trouble because of, according to the plan that they have set forward in the budget for special education.
En el último evento, creo fue en abril 15,
Last event was April 15th.
nos presentaron este documento
They presented this
para el plan
document
de presupuesto.
for the budgeting plan.
De las preguntas que hicimos de aquí se nos dijo que no lo estábamos entendiendo.
From the questions we asked and we asked them about this, they said that they were not, we told them we didn't understand them.
Que esto era solo para profesionales,
That this was just specifically for professionals.
diciendo que vienen gráficas que son muy fáciles de entender.
They're saying that the graphics were easy to
Las
comprehend.
preguntas fueron incómodas, por esa razón fue que nos dijeron que parecía que no lo estábamos entendiendo.
The questions were uncomfortable and it seemed like we were not understanding them,
Y la señora Monarres
or they were not understanding us, and Ms. Monares
enseguida nos entregó que dice que es el que deberemos de entender,
right away gave us this,
el
which
cual
is what
pienso
she
que
said
esto
we
ya más
needed
complicado de entender.
to understand, and this is, I believe, a lot more complicated to comprehend than the one before.
Ya van varias veces que se nos dice lo mismo, que no entendemos, se nos está tendiendo a presentar como personas tontas, por no decir otra palabra.
This is not the first time that they brought forth things in which they're telling us that they're things that we're not meant to comprehend. In other words, trying to call us basically people that are dumb.
Lo que dice la ley,
What the law says,
dice que se tiene que hablar en un lenguaje que se entienda,
it says that you have to speak it in language that is
que tienen que
comprehensible.
hablar y encontrar gráficas o una manera de que el público, nosotros lo entendamos, no que vengan y nos digan que somos tontos y que no sabemos lo que están hablando.
And they need to be able to bring out graphics and information
No
that
es
we
de
can
risa porque a
understand
mí no
and
me da
not
risa
things that
que nos traten de esa manera.
and not things that they bring to us in which we don't comprehend, and then they tell us that we're stupid because we're
Si
dumb
aquí
because
está
we don't
haciendo ella
understand it.
eso, riéndose de mí por lo que estoy diciendo, imagínense lo
If
que nos
she's
dice
here-
cuando estamos en los eventos donde no están ustedes ni nadie escuchando.
If she's here laughing about it and laughing at me, imagine the times when we are doing these kinds of meetings and holding these kinds of meetings and none of you are there to watch her.
Quiero pasar, después de este punto voy a pasar a los estatutos. Seguimos dándole vueltas a los estatutos.
After I hit this point, I want to continue on with the statutes that they have, or the bylaws that they have put forward. We continue giving it and going around in circles and in circles in regards to the statutes.
6 reuniones.
6 meetings.
Vamos por la 7ª porque quedó pendiente.
We're on the 7th meeting now because it still remained pending.
Y yo ya les comenté a ustedes que había unos estatutos del 2013.
And I commented to you that the
Mal
statutes were from
elaborados.
2013 and they were
Los
not
padres trabajaron
proper.
mucho para elaborar unas sugerencias.
Parents worked hard to elaborate and put together
sugerencias que no se han tomado en cuenta.
suggestions that have not even been considered.
Se nos entregó un borrador que ellos hicieron en enero.
They gave us a rough draft that they created in January.
Después, en abril 15,
Then on April 15th,
nos dijeron que encontraron milagrosamente unos estatutos del 2015.
they said that they miraculously found statutes or laws from 2015,
Idénticos al borrador que nos entregaron en enero.
identical to the rough draft that they gave us in January.
Los estatutos de 2015 no están implementados, están todavía trabajando con los estatutos de 2013.
The statutes that are from the year 2015 are the same as the statutes from the year 2013.
En la última reunión de la semana pasada nos trajeron un abogado
In the last meeting last week, they brought a lawyer
para que nos explicara cómo estaba la historia de los estatutos.
so that he can explain to us the statutes or the laws.
La pregunta que yo hice fue si era legal que estuvieran trabajando con unos estatutos de un año que no son, que debería de ser diferente. Están trabajando con los de 2013 cuando existen los de 2015.
My question was, why are they working with the statutes or the laws that are from 2013 when we have laws that are from 2015?
La respuesta que recibí del abogado
The answer I received from the lawyer
es que él no sabe qué responder.
is that he does not know what to answer.
Un abogado que vino a defender lo indefendible.
A lawyer that came to defend the undefendable.
Esa es la situación que estamos pasando y quisiera, señora Abigail, señor Marsden,
This is the situation that we are going through, and I would like Ms. Abigail and Mr. Marsden.
la razón que vengo solo es porque estoy protegiendo incluso a padres que se les ha tratado de una manera mala por ir a pedir ayuda solo porque andan conmigo.
The reason why I'm here by myself today is because they have come around and gone to parents that are with me or around me or supporting me in the same page as me. They've been treated wrongly.
Ya se lo comenté a la señora Monarres
I commented this to Ms. Morales
y al señor Volkamer
and to Mr. Volkamer.
y aparentemente no ha pasado nada.
And
Los
apparently
padres siguen
nothing
recibiendo
has
represalias e intimidación.
The parents just keep on getting reprise and intimidation.
Por esa es la razón que yo vengo hoy solo,
And this is the reason why I'm here today alone.
para proteger a las personas que pueden ser otra vez intimidadas
To
o recibir
protect
un
those
tipo
people.
de manera de trato que creo que no es justa.
That might be intimidated or may be treated in a way that I think is not just.
Creo que ellos como trabajadores públicos y trabajadores públicos para nosotros como la ciudadanía deberían de tener un poco más de respeto para las personas que van a buscarlos porque se necesitan fuerzas para presentarse con ustedes. No tenemos por qué tener temor.
I believe that as public representatives and public workers, for us citizens, there needs to be the job needs to be better done. We should not, have to be afraid to come and talk to you.
Hay muchas cosas que se tienen que decir, el tiempo es muy poco. Creo que quisiera pedirle, señora Abigail, ya muchas veces hemos venido aquí y necesitamos que nos permita un tiempo. Usted ya vio en las condiciones que estamos teniendo los talleres fuera del distrito, 30 padres en un cuadro donde no caben. Usted lo vio.
We are having a situation and we hope that you guys can help and give us a little bit more time also
Y son
to
padres
speak
de
what
aquí
we
de
need
este
to speak.
distrito.
Ms. Abigail, you've seen it before. We are in a situation where the parents are being put in workshops in which the rooms are small and they're very compact, and we have up to 30 parents in a small room. And they are parents from here, from this school district.
And that was in Riverside. Era en Riverside, en la
Ya,
ciudad de
por
Riverside.
favor, necesitamos que se nos apoye. Nos quitaron los talleres. Para lo que ellos van a hacer no hay nada para los padres para que aprendan sus derechos y responsabilidades. Seguimos en la misma. Quieren tenerlos que no sepan para hacer con ellos lo que quieren. Y no es justo.
We need to have workshops and continue to have workshops that will teach and train and explain to the parents exactly what their rights are and what they are in their right to do and say. I don't think that it is fair that they are being kept away from these things and this information. It's not fair.
Muchas gracias, pero si va a ser necesario que yo empiece a juntar padres para hacer una protesta en frente de la oficina de quien sea, voy a empezar a trabajar en eso.
Thank you.
Y créanmelo, no va a ser nada agradable para nadie ni para nosotros.
Thank you. And if I need to start putting together and rile up a parents so that we can begin a protest in front of anyone's office that needs to be done. I will begin to work on that, and trust me when I say it will not be something happy or comfortable.
Muchas gracias y espero una respuesta.
Thank you. I expect an answer from you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Agoro. Board welcomes Mr. Jim Morris. Good evening, Mr. Morris.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to address you here this evening. I just want to come and thank you on behalf of, well, a lot of folks or a lot of students and parents, but in particular on behalf of the Booster Club for the Cajon Speech and Debate Team, and to thank you for your commitment of resources and funding to academic teams across the school district. I was not aware of that action until the Booster Club had its first meeting last week, and it was announced that I think it was $50,000 you gave to each high school in support of their academic teams. As a parent, as a longtime resident of the community, as a former student, I think it's a fantastic move, something that I don't know if other districts do this, but the Booster Club was able to raise $3,000, maybe $4,000 a year for this team of now 50 students who participate at Cajon in speech and debate, one of whom went to the national finals last year in the competition. They've gone to Stanford and competed against kids from around the state. It's something that the students here deserve. They're obviously capable of competing, and to get that financial support that enables them to take buses as a team to these competitions, that provides them the resources to attend high-level competitions when they do well. That is fantastic. So really smart move, hopefully something that continues to expand, encourages that. When I was here at Cajon High School, we had mock trial. It was the only non-athletic, it wasn't even called an academic team, right? But it was a fun competition, and for better or worse, inspired me to go off and become a lawyer. That may be good or bad. It was a great experience as a high school student. And so you providing that kind of funding for those kinds of experiences for our students is fantastic. And I think it's grown the program, without which I thought Mr. Stowitz, the teacher, might be here, the coach of the Speech and Debate Club. But he's grown that program, and I have a son who plans to participate for the first time this year, so I'm excited for him to be a part of that team that is not the typical team we see out in the athletic field, although I love those. It's great to have that same kind of support go to the academic teams, which I think our school district can only continue to shine and grow in that area. So on a related note, though, I will be back to you at some point to talk about boys volleyball, which I attended a boys volleyball. My son also, my younger son goes to middle school. 2 volleyball games in, Cesar Chavez, he attends there. Kids, these boys are playing volleyball, and they're really good, right? But we almost have no boys volleyball programs at the high school level, so I'm hopeful that I can help be something that helps start that and sparks that, because there's a volleyball club program in town that is one of the best in the region, Rancho Volleyball Club. And I've talked to young ladies down there, most of whom played Cal State, right? They're graduates from there, they play there, and they are excited to be potentially coaches. So I think we've got a great marriage and maybe an opportunity to grow a boys athletic program that I think, kids out there in middle school taller than I was on the court, and they're fantastic. So anyway, most of all though, thank you for your support of the academic teams. Wonderful, great move. Continue to strive to do even more in the coming years. So,
All right,
thanks.
great. Just
Thank
hold on
you.
one second. Mr. Tillman?
Yeah, thank you for coming out, and what you said is exactly what we're trying to do. We're investing in these programs.
Yeah.
We believe we have the best and the brightest here in San Bernardino, and if we support those students, we'll start winning all the competitions.
Amen to that.
And so we believe in it, and thanks for you for coming down and reaffirming it. It does make a difference. And there is an investment tonight in volleyball. What is that under consent? Isn't there something in consent about a new volleyball program?
It's just the approval of the officials
Okay.
for the volleyball program.
So
All right, hey, everything counts.
Everything
right?
counts.
Every little baby steps, baby steps.
So thanks for
Moving in
coming
the
down.
right
Well, thank you
direction.
guys. I appreciate it.
All right, and then Dr. Wyatt, right after Dr. Wyatt, Dr. Hill.
Well, yeah, no, I just
Hold
want
on,
to
wait,
make
wait.
comments
We
as
still have
well. Thank you for Mr. Morrison. Thank you for coming here. And I was very fortunate to be able to spend a day with Dr. Volkemer and the team he's leading. We're having a strategic planning team for our academic teams. So it's not just a here and now, this year plan. Now we're planning for the future, and we know our kids compete very well on the athletic fields, and we want them to compete at the highest level, as you said, in academia. And then I will even add that we have a VAPA strategic plan as well that this board is committed to.
Oh, that's
So we're supporting all our students in all programs across the board, and you're right, we want to continue to put San Bernardino on the map and let folks know that we're here, a force to reckon with in every possible level, whether it's academics, whether it's visual performing arts, or whether it's sports. This board here is to support our district in many different ways. So thank you for coming. That really means a lot to us.
Let those
All right.
students shine, and that's a great approach, because I remember when you brought the athletic directors together to put together that sports plan, so taking that same approach gets buy-in and will only lead to success. So.
Okay, one more, wait, Dr. Hill.
Mine's just a message. As you know, I write an article for the Sun. This coming Friday, an article about Miss Hannah
Oh, are you?
will be in
Oh,
Friday's
fantastic.
paper.
Well, I thought she might actually show up tonight. She had a conflict, but yeah, she was apparently fantastic. I've seen some tape of her. So.
Okay, but thank you. I was
Thank you
really
for writing
impressed
that.
with the write-up.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Mr. Morris, thank you for your service to our community. And those are all the public comments, Board.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go to 5.2, tentative agreement, Article, let me make sure I'm in the right place, yes. Article 7, unit members' rights, and Article 11, wages between and San Bernardino Unified School District and Communication Workers of America. Are there any comment cards?
No comment cards, Madam
Can I
President.
have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Be resolved that the Board of Education adopts a tentative agreement, Article 7, unit members article and members' right, and Articles 11, wages between San Bernardino Unified School District and Communication Workers of America. Let's go ahead and go to 5.3,
Actually, we're on, I think, page 17. I showed as a. Yes.
article, yeah.
Yep, thank you.
5.3, tentative 6, Article 6, wages, Article 9, hours, Article 14, reimbursement, expenses and materials, and Article 23, term of agreement between San Bernardino Unified School District and the San Bernardino School Police Officers Association. Are there any comment cards?
No, Madam President.
Okay.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Be resolved that the Board of Education adopts a tentative agreement, Article 6, wages, Article 9, hours, Article 14, reimbursement, expenses and materials, and Article 23, term of agreements between San Bernardino City Unified School District and San Bernardino School Police Officers Association. Let's go now to 9.0, right?
8.0, Madam President.
Did I just pass it? Okay, yeah, I see it now. Sorry, it was just, I used my electronic version and it skips over it. So then we have 8.0, 8.1, report by San Bernardino Teachers Association. None. 8.2, report by California School Employees Association. Yes, come on forward.
I'm always going to come to the mic, so.
Great. Welcome, Mr. Tishman.
Welcome.
I just want to thank everybody for an efficient negotiation process. We were able to do that very quickly. And we had an overwhelming positive vote in the outcome. And we just want to thank everyone at the board for their support and look forward to continued success here in the district. So thank you very much. Thank
All right, great.
each and every
Thank
one
you.
of you for the job you do. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tishman.
We're doing something right. Great. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, 8.3, report by Communication Workers of America. No report.
No report tonight.
8.4, report by San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
No
No.
report tonight.
8.5, comments by board members, and what I'll do this time a little different. I'll start with Dr. Hill, turn ourselves around all the way to Dr. Wyatt, and then back around with Mr. Tillman and towards my way. So Dr. Hill.
Thank you. I hadn't finished writing all my notes, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you?
But no, that's okay. I can. I know. I'm in a good mood tonight, so I want to stay that way. So I'm just saying a little bit. I'm sorry that Ashley's not here, but some of you may know.
Well, she's here.
Oh, Ashley, there. Happy birthday.
That's right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley. Happy birthday to you. And many more in Channel 4 and do in Channel 2.
And thank you for spending it with us, Ashley. The only other thing is Gwen and I do a thing called Coffee with the Board Members, and we had Charlie Jacob from the Neighborhood Watch Association, and she would like to, and thank you, Stephanie, for being there as well, but she wants all of us to work together on an anti-littering resolution and a campaign for the entire city. And it would not be something that was done strictly by the school district, but we intend to bring it up with the Bridge Committee when we meet with the mayor and council members as well. But if we can get that going, and I know if you look at the social media, people say, it's not our job. We have Veritech and we blame everybody else, but we don't take any ownership in our city. And the only way it's going to get clean, whether it stay clean or not, we're going to have to do it. So I'm just suggesting that we take a look at this and involve our students in community service projects, give them credit for getting out there, working with the Service Council of San Bernardino. We meet once a month in the mayor's office, and let's just take it upon ourselves to clean up our city. Some days I want to drive down some streets with both eyes closed, but it's not going away unless we do something about it. So that's what I have to say, and just want to say to all of our students, I was at Del Viejo yesterday. Students were doing quite well. Staff members were doing okay. And I just hope all of you have a good school year. And to our cabinet, superintendent, our board members, we're all here to support our students and our staff members. And we're part of that village, so let's get out to the schools to see what they're doing, how well they're doing, and just give them as much support as we can to have a good year. So thank you, Madam President.
Wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Flores?
Yes, I want to express gratitude. Gratitude to all the hard work that our cabinet does. Ms. Christakos and your team, facilities and MO, just want to thank you for, doing all the work that you do regarding our facilities and our construction and so forth. Yes, I see them over there. I'm looking at them. And it's really important. And, to have clean and updated spaces to learn and so forth. And just really grateful to you all. Also, Ms. Bardier, I want to thank you for all the work that you do. It is tremendous in terms of the public relations and communication, and you're very vital to our district. I also want to thank Ms. Ontiveros for the work that you've done. I'm really happy to see this board correspondence on our health, on our, what is it called? The Wellness Center that's going to be opening up, and so forth, the Welcome Resource Center, the Student Health Clinic. That was a vision and a dream, and I know you've been on it, and just very grateful for seeing it come to reality. Also, Chief Paulino, thank you so much for all the work that you do and all our police for keeping us safe and also protecting us, our community, because it's just not the kids that you protect. You protect people throughout the community, and people don't know that. The public doesn't know that they also will take calls related. And, you know, I know that we're understaffed, and also, especially at night and when burglaries happen, it's trying. So just want to thank you for all of that. I want to thank Dr. Mitchell for all your work that you're doing as well. I'm anxious to see the literacy campaign launched, and I know that will be great. Dr. Monitis, all the work you do with continuous board correspondence. I'm really excited about the Neurobiology Mindful Leaders Project. I just heard about it and the buzz and so forth, so I'm really, really happy about that. I didn't get to go to it, but I heard from Board Member Rogers and Dr. Hill that it was just fantastic. So I'd like to, you know, go. Remember to invite me. Dr. Bettis, family engagement, strategic plan, the wellness team, calming centers. That's a dream that all of us have had, and that's really important, you know, and so forth. And I really appreciate that. Lots of gratitude. I'm getting comments from community and the kids. The kids have been expecting that, and hopefully we as a board will be able to replicate those, you know, throughout our campuses. I mean, we'll wait and see. Dr. Volkemer, you're always in my heart. You always do things behind the scenes, and you know, a lot of people don't know all the stuff that you do, but you're on it, and so just a lot of gratitude for you. Dr. Marsden, I know you have a large, you know, challenge, many challenges, and I know as a board, we're very grateful for your leadership and for, you know, listening to us, and actually not just listening, but following through. So that's important. And to my fellow board members, I express a lot of gratitude. I have grown to love you each, to care for each one of you, all of you, and through, you know, I'm going to cry, through the good times and the bad times, we're together. So I really appreciate you all. It's real important. And I have a couple of asks that as usual, I have asked. I have 4, but I'm only going to say 2. I'm really concerned, Dr. Marsden and Chief Paulino. I would like an update of our alarm systems, our video cameras. You know, what is it that we need? What is it that we need to keep, you know, our facilities safe, our kids safe? I would like an update on what we need, Dr. Marsden, Chief. The cost, I want the cost, the budget. Do we need more people, you know, at nighttime? Do we, I mean, I don't know all the needs that we have, but I think our board needs to be apprised by that. And so, and that's one of our pillars, that's one of our strategic pillars, is safety. And so I would like I don't know how long it would take, a month, 2 months, I don't know. Or you'll probably already have it. I hope you have it and just bring it out. But I don't know. I can't see you. Are you nodding your head or just looking at me?
We're happy to do it.
Yeah, you're looking at me. Okay. All right. I would like that. And also, I think this falls on your shoulders, Dr. Volkemer, the status of the combo classes committee work. I don't know where it's at. You know, if you could update us, I would appreciate it. I have 2 others, but I'll keep them for next time. Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing that, and we love you too, Dr. Flores. Dr. Wyatt?
Well, Dr. Flores, thank you for such kind words, and I have to echo a lot of what you were saying in regards to our colleagues here in our board, and I speak highly of our board and our executive cabinet and how well we work together. And we have many indifferences here as a board, but boy, we come together when it comes to students and what's best for our schools and our students and our staff and our programs in our city. So we talk about coherence and continuity, and it comes together when it needs to come together. And boy, we have diversity too, and you heard me talk about that before, the strength in our diversity of our board as well. So I really appreciate everyone here too. Usually, don't always like to talk about events, because I think all of us here are at different events, different days, all over the city, and we have so many schools and so many great things going on that it's so easy to miss something that's going on at a school or a site. And so we try to be at as many events and places as we can, and even with 7 of us, that's still difficult to do, but I know we're out there, and I really enjoy that part of what we do, representing our community and being with our schools and our staff and our students, seeing the greatness happening out there. And we had a couple nice events last week. We had our Atlas celebration, which was really well attended and just had a tremendous amount of energy there. And Dr. Hill, I think it was you, and who else was with us, Sarah? I apologize if I missed someone else. Was it Miss Rogers as well at the Atlas event? I know, because they're all over. Gwen and Margaret are everywhere. So, and then my first time going to the Tachikawa Sayonara, which was a really fun event and really emotional event. Our students have come from Japan, and with our families out here, and our students that went to Japan, just an amazing exchange of cultures and experiences, and wow. It was really neat to see, a first for me. And then this one, a couple things. Oh, and then one other thing. I say this often up here, but I got to say it again because it's the beginning of the school year. And please drive safely around our schools. I take my son to school every day, and I had a parent today tell me something I thought was interesting. She goes, I have to drop off 4 kids at 4 different schools. And Abigail did 5 kids at 5 schools.
One year I did 5 different schools for all my kids, which was crazy.
So I get it. And it's crazy if they all start about the same time. We don't want any of them to be late, right? So, we're often rushing around our schools, and then we have to get to work and be on time to work. And, it is sometimes chaos out there, and we just need to be careful. I shared something on one of my school board Facebook site about, when buses are also stopped with red lights, and it's really bad when we see folks going by. And I saw that this past week, and it was just like, ouch, we're supposed to stop and slow down. And, again, I know we're all short on time, we're all rushing, but it's just something we really need to take seriously, is traffic safety around schools. And then this one is kind of almost like a favor request, and I don't know if we could do it, but, every year, this time of the year, we have the Western Regional World Series right here in our city. And I saw a lot of comments on social media about we could do so much more to support such an amazing event that gets national coverage, if not global coverage. And so I'm reaching out to our city politicians as well to somehow work together to bring greater, notoriety to the World Series, just to help put us on the map in a very positive way. We had an amazing game. I don't know if you guys got to see the final game for the Western Regionals. And gosh darn, it was Arizona, I think, versus Northern California. And it went down to literally the last out of the last inning, and Arizona came back in just a imaginable, fashionable, winning spirit, and taking that now to Williamsport. But it's a bigger event than you could imagine, right here in our city, and we really didn't PR it at all. And we have kids that play at that stadium. I played at that stadium in the Western Regional Championship as well, so it has history to me too. And of course, we didn't have no TVs or anything back then, or any kind of corporate sponsorship. No, we ended up getting beat, but we made it there. But we did lose. But it didn't minimize the experience, I'll tell you. And again, it's national coverage. And I know we talk so much about how do we help put San Bernardino on the map, how do we market our city, and then how do we involve our kids in community. And our kids play at that stadium, and it's a chance of a lifetime. It really is. And if there's any way we as a district could help enhance that and support it, I would love us to do so, and to build a partnership maybe. And maybe that's just part of the vertical articulation, matriculation of our athletic strategic plan. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have Mr. Tillman.
Yes, thank you. I know later on I'm going to ask about moving up one of the items for the list of the wait list. So maybe you can move it to the top 10. There's an empty spot up there. Well, one of the things, one of the wait lists I'm concerned about is the caps. I don't know if it's growing or so if we can get some feedback on where the caps wait list is on the schools, because if it is, I know Ms. Christakis at some point is going to bring some information about ending fund balances, so we might have some additional money. We can eliminate some of the wait lists for the caps. That's one thing that parents depend on. They really, I know of parents that send their kids to schools that have the Sunrise program and the after school cash program. And if that program didn't exist, they would take their kid out of the district. Is that important? So I want to make sure that we find ways to eliminate the wait list and provide more programs like that. And it gets back to the request I had back in May about what programs have the waiting list. And then the last thing, we do a whole lot at the board level, and it takes time to get to the schools, but I think we got to find some way to be more consistent. I had I go out and talk to parents and community a lot, and the one thing I tell them is it's state law that the district cannot charge you a fee for something that is sanctioned by the school, whether it's an event or clothes or whatever it is. If the parent says they don't have the money to buy it, then the district has to provide it. That message hasn't gotten down to all the schools, because the response should be from everybody at the school level, especially administrators. If a parent says, I don't have the money to buy gym clothes or anything else, then we will provide it. And I know we talked about the gym clothes specifically, and I just want to be clear, we want to spend the money to provide the actual gym clothes. And the reason for that, if the school is wearing a certain color and the parent can't afford it, I don't want to say you can just wear whatever shorts you want to wear, because then that kid could feel insecure and ostracized that he doesn't have the matching uniform because he can't afford it. So we've agreed that we're going to purchase those uniforms for the students. It's not going to say loaner on it. It's not going to be a different color. It's going to look just like the ones that the other kids have. So, I'm saying that purposely so that folks who watch this meeting on TV understand that we're making that commitment. But to Dr. Marsden, somehow you have to make sure that your administrators buy into it and have the capability at their site to make sure they can provide those type of uniforms for the students. And I think, especially at the beginning of the school year, I want to thank Ms. Bardier. She sent out some letters for a program that we do for future leaders. And I had a parent call me, and she said to me, say I'm in a high school parent, that the letter said that you will go online to get the application. And she said, we don't have the internet. And so it was an opportunity for me to explain to her that the district gives out Chromebooks and we pay for a hotspot so you have access to the internet. But that's something that hasn't gotten down to the sites. I used to think it was okay that we had a website that had it on there. Then I started thinking that doesn't make sense. If a person doesn't have the internet, how can they get access to our website? So I have a nephew that came to live with me, and he's attending school, and I went through the whole process. And nowhere in the process did they say you can get a Chromebook. At the end of the process, when I left the counselor's office, she told me to go to the library to get the books, but she never said go get the books and go here for a computer or the internet if you need it. So now maybe she knew me and assumed I had a computer. I hope that's the case, but I kind of got the feeling that it's not in the process to, when students register, it's nowhere in the registration process to ask them if they need a computer. And I think that should be built into the process, because it's that important to our students. And it is sad to think that we have students who don't have the computers or the internet, and just because we haven't told them, they don't have it. So I hope that and encourage staff to make sure we do what it takes to make that program available to all. And I tell you, we have a gym, and Linda Bardier is an expert at it. Maybe she should send a letter out, Linda, that says if you don't have the internet or computer, you can get one for free. Because I found the best way to contact our parents is to have Miss Bardier send a letter to their house. So I think that's something we should consider. Having her send a letter saying that if you don't have a computer or the internet, you can call a number and we'll get you a computer, and maybe have it where we go to the schools on a night or a morning and just stand there with the computers and sign them out to the kids, because it really is that important. Thank you very much.
Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Gallo?
Yes, thank you. I happen to have watched some of the custodial staff was at San Andreas over the summer. And I got to tell you what, they did an unbelievable job on that school. They waxed every one of the floors in there. I never saw them look that great. The carpets and everything, they just hired a new guy, Mark. I forgot his last name, but he is just fantastic. And Jose, who's been there for a gazillion years, Margaret knows him, I think, is really sparked up and really is motivated. I mean, I know he's kind of probably getting close to retirement age here and everything, but it's really neat to see the great work that they've done. And our schools are looking good. I don't know if you guys have been on, I know many of you have been on campus of various campuses. Every one I've been on this year is really looking good. Landscaping's looking nice, and I really got to commend the gang for doing this. You know, how we present ourselves, it's you know, it's a blessing to this community. The facilities that we have, they're brand new, they look great, some of them, and well, most of them, and it really does bring up the neighborhood. So I really got to commend those guys for that. Another thing, the Tachikawi girls that were out here, they happened to be all girls except for one guy that was on our team. Yeah, and I'm Uncle Mike to Maya, and I just talked to Maya's parents the other day, and they were crying at the airport, and you know, going back and everything. It's really a great program. I know Danny espoused the values of that at our last board meeting when we happened to have him here and stuff. So I really applaud the district for supporting that program, and I'd really love to see us expand that. I'm also on the CTE, California Technical Education, or Career Technical Education statewide advisory board, and they're writing a new state plan, mostly for Title IV dollars, Perkins funds and things, and we have an opportunity to drive that plan, drive what's in it, drive the specific elements that qualify for career technical education, and the various things that funding can pay for in that as well. And I really think we should take an opportunity to do that. People have heard about what we're doing at the state level in career technical education. We have something like 47 or 49 different career pathways that are quite mature. At different levels, of course, but in different levels of investment. But it's becoming noticed, and students are engaging in it. They are inspired by it. You see a whole different mindset for these kids that really are starting to get a hands-on technical education in addition to their academic instruction. So if anyone has any input to that and, has some ideas, I know Pam has been, Pam Kempthorne has been working diligently for years on career pathway implementation. And it's really thoughtful, well-done work. And our site leaders are just great at supporting them, and, applaud this board for actually placing a priority on it. So, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Ms. Rogers?
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for their comments. They they actually echo, what we hear out in the community. As you know, I'm always out in the community, but they do always mention how involved we are, in the things that are going on. So that's important to me. That's worth being on a board and the purpose of being on a board. But I will say I echo everything that everyone has said, especially about our cabinet and team and all of our staff. I mean, we are here as a family to support each other and do the things that we do, and ultimately is what make our students successful. To add on, not to piggyback, but to add on to what Dr. Hill was talking about, we do have that community meeting for a purpose. And one particular thing that came up, and there will be a list, Dr. Marsden, I will share with you. When the community talks to me, you'll notice I always have my cell phone, and that's because I text what they say to me so that I can remember what they said, so that it can get resolved. And one additional thing that we, in addition to what Dr. Hill was mentioning, there's a list of things I'll share, but one that stood out was they said that students are having concerns about the long lunch lines here at Indian Springs is one that came up. And I know last year it came up again at Arroyo Valley, and saying, they try to bring food and so on and so forth. I say that because that was an example of some of the things that they shared with us, and they may seem small to some people, but if a student is not eating, we definitely do not want that. In addition to the meeting, and I'll pass these down, there are some legislation, and the board members can also look at this too. There's some legislation that is coming up that is going to affect us, and we'll make some decisions on. One in particular was the one that was signed by the governor, which was AB 272 in reference to smartphones. So we'll be soon needing to take some action or adjust our policy or whatever it is that we need to do there. But I thought I'd print those. I sit on the Gangs and Drugs Task Force, so we are privy to a lot of information, as well as being on the California School Board Association. Mr. Tillman was also right. Again, being in the community, we find out the things that we bring up at the board, because I think sometimes it seems like it's just a nice conversation, and I'm learning that myself, that I may bring up something and it seems like, oh, it's nice, but it's really something I need action taken on it so that we don't come back again. But the PE closed, and I shared that with him as well. A parent communicated, that they were told, and again, this is some documentation I gave to Dr. Marsden, that students are being told just wear whatever, but he hit it on the nail. I mean, I don't want to stand out when everyone else is looking a certain way. So that did come up, and a student actually shared that with me. So we want to be mindful about that. Also, Dr. Marsden, I was in a meeting, and it was another district talking about their school board members, and I know we just recently did our picks, and they said that they're looking at ways to give them elective credits. So I don't know how that's working, but that's something that maybe we can look at. I know some of them were concerned about their schedules, but it is part of a civic action, so perhaps maybe they can have that. I think my biggest concern for tonight, on some of the notes and some of the things that I've encountered talking with parents and community members, is promotion with consideration. And I think I talked to you about that already. I think I mentioned it the other month, but I didn't get to share it with the board. And the reason on this promotion with consideration that came up to me is that, one, it's affecting students getting into GATE based on where, when that promotion took place. So, I mean, just a matter of revisiting it and being clear that once we put tags on individuals, it can stop them down the road for whatever reason or whatever took place. So I would like to make sure that we're going to look back into that and make sure that if we're going to label, or if we're going to make that assessment, then it's there, because then that stops students from being in GATE. And then, of course, when I look at the number of African American students that access in GATE, our numbers are low. So again, we had to look for ways that we can get our students in the type of classes that will make them successful and challenge them. Also, I think I don't know who did the board correspondence, but on the San Bernardino High School gates, and we found out that thank you all for that, because it looked like we did need to do a little work, and next time I go there, I'll probably be able to get out of there real easy versus what had taken place. And then lastly, I will give these to probably Linda Bardier. At our community meeting, they shared with us a number of activities that are taking place with Park and Recs, but their concern is that the flyers have to be a certain way, and I get that, and we did share that with them, that we just can't circulate any flyer without the proper wording or whatever it is. But they did give me an example of them, and I'll leave those with you and share with the acting community recreation manager. They gave me that information. And we on Saturday, I was real excited. Like a community member shared with me, we're going to have this Cosmic Comic Fest. And for many of you that know about what is a Comic-Con, I mean, that's huge. That brings a lot of attention to your community. I know a lot of things are happening on that day. It's on the 24th, and a lot of things are going on, but it's 10 to 2. So, you know, if you can get to that, I think that's something that's very supportive when we look at the arts as well. It's going to be actually at the Garcia Center. Yes, the Garcia Center on 11th Street. So it's 10 to 2, and it's the first inaugural Cosmic Comic Fest. So that is going to be great. And then on a sadder note, but also a joyous note, we all know that a young man that was near and dear to us, I call him young, John Futch, they will be having his memorial services this Saturday also. And, you know, we just want to continue to lift up his family and continue to you know, just be there and support. We know he was a huge pillar of our community that did a lot of work, even here coming to our board members meetings late night and just voicing things to help us be better. And we're going to miss him, sorely miss him. But please just continue to pray for his family. Thank you.
Mrs. Rogers, you said something about cell phones?
Yeah, the smartphone.
That's not on here, though.
Yeah, turn it over. It's AB 272.
And can you say what it is? Because you mentioned it, and people watching on TV don't have
You're
to pay
right. You're absolutely right. So AB 272 explicitly authorizes a school district, county office of education, and charter schools to adopt a policy to limit or prohibit the use by its pupils of smartphones while the pupils are at a school site. And this has been signed by the governor. And of course, what we did find out that the school districts will be able to, you know, create their policies or adjust their policies. But this just, again, is showing us the importance of the distractions and how we're going to be using our phones when we're in school. You know.
There is a story on the internet I read on Yahoo about a district in California that has the students put their phones in pouches.
I heard that.
And they have a technology to check it in and out. And after they did it, even the students liked it better because they felt like when the phones were out, they found that the students would interact with each other.
Exactly.
But this is a big deal if we're going to do this, and if it's law, we have to do it.
Absolutely.
But the challenge is going to be where do you store the phone securely?
Exactly.
In this district that I read the story about, they found a way to do that with these patches, and they have the tabs that they have for anti-theft in the department stores. So you take it off, put it in your pouch. So I guess if somebody walked out with your phone, it would beep.
You would know. And I think there was someone there from the district actually in our meeting, and they are handling it in a way like that right now. So we just got to be consistent. I think they use some form of a lockbox. So when you look into it, you will find that some of your teachers are already doing something like this. And I've always said it. I love technology, but we also have to help our students manage their distractions so we can make sure they're focusing and they can talk and interact. We wonder why the critical thinking skills are.
And they've said that it's formally been diagnosed as possible addiction. And so, I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, it is a big deal.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing that. I definitely Cosmic Comic Fest. With my public comments, I took my daughter to Cal State East Bay, and it was amazing. I know my first one that went away. Typically, my kids didn't want to leave. They stayed here at Cal State San Bernardino, which is nice still, but it's different when you have them leave, and then you're like constantly texting them and calling them, and sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? I even spoke to one of the moms there that was also helping fixing the beds for them while the students were sitting back. And I was like, we have to exchange numbers so that way we can keep in contact. And of course, we were just making fun. It wasn't, I do have her number, but no, I'm not keeping tabs. But so that was really exciting just to see that our schools, and that's one thing is that when I first started advocacy work as a parent, my intention was, I wanted my kids to go to college, and I remember back then the percentage was really low for our students. And so I am just so glad to see that our students and many students are having that opportunity if they choose to have that opportunity. So I'm really excited about that. And when it was mentioned, so I lied. I was trying to calculate the schools. It wasn't 5 schools. It was 4 schools that and how I was able to handle the 4 schools was that if one of them was late, like for instance, they took too long getting ready, then they would be put in the back of the cycle of the drop-off list so that the rest of the kids wouldn't be late because of that one child that was late, right? So, and then we had to put them back in they would be the last one dropped off, and they would, of course, be really late. So I had a system with that. As I'm going to different school districts and different communities, I'm finding that the benefits program that we offer our employees is, and they're in shock of how we're able to provide 100%. And while their school districts the teachers are still fighting to make sure that they're getting their fair share of their health care paid, and we're doing paying the 100%. So I do want to mention I am proud of our school district for doing what's needed to be done. And of course, with the pay, we're never there, but at least when it comes to the health care for them and their families, we're definitely on the top of the game. When it comes to this, and I'm glad Dr. Flores, you mentioned with regarding the health centers, and that's going to be coming up and I do want to mention to keep the Board of Education informed, the communication provides update. This is for the health clinic. This is a SAC health system to open a student health center in the Welcome Centers Resource Center. And that's going to help provide services. There's going to have a grand opening October the 15th noon. So just to keep, hopefully we could share that on the Facebook or social media, so that way parents are able to kind of like see this type of services that we'll be able to provide. And I remember taking a field trip up to Sacramento with the concept of trying to see how we could bring this to the district, and with the help of other board members, just to see that it's happening now. This is amazing. This is really good work. And the last note that I do want to mention is that I spoke with Dr. Marsden about this, the Asian Pacific Islanders, and also looking at how we can involve them through a committee. In Fontana, I remember them having an Asian Pacific Islander parent committee, advisory committee, and so I would love to try to see if we can look into creating that as well. It might look different because we want to be mindful of the culture and where they meet and so forth, but that would be something that we should definitely try to reach out to see how we can get parents involved within that community as well. So for that, let's go ahead.
Madam President, I want to tell you that Abigail Jr. is going to have a great experience at Cal State Hayward.
Yes.
It was named East Bay, but East Bay now. I graduated from Cal State Hayward in 1970.
Yes.
And I went there, and it's a great university. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's up on top of a hill.
Yes, it is.
It oversees the Bay Area. Yes. And I had 4 great years at Cal State Hayward. I don't want to call it East Bay because it was Hayward that I graduated from.
It was Hayward.
So she's going to have a great experience.
Thank you.
It was Hayward in one building.
It was Hayward in 2 buildings.
Yes. Mike Gallo, you had something else?
Yeah, just one quick thing before we get to it. We had a BC on gates and security and things. And as I was reading about it and things, we've got multiple kinds of, I'm not even sure you could call it a policy, it probably practices on single point of entry at various school sites and things like this. I don't really think there is a policy that we have in our district on single point entry stuff. So I really think we need to add that to our considerations. And I know maybe Eric Patir or whoever, might think about drafting something
let
like
Jeannie
that.
comment on that just briefly.
Yeah.
Actually, Mr. Vatir, it's one of his big rocks, one of his goals for this year. He'll be working with Chief on updating all of those policies.
Yeah, that one's a biggie, though.
It is a
I'm
biggie.
just thinking about really securing our campuses and just having the common practices. So when teachers are back and forth at different campuses, they don't have to wonder what their different practice might be at a specific school. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Dr. Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. So, Board, one of the things I wanted to, I haven't complimented, I don't think, our painters before, but I was on my visit this morning to Lido Creek with Ted Alejandra, our County Superintendent of Schools, making sure all of our kids have what they need to have a successful year. And one of the things our painters have done is taken artistic liberty. So if you get a chance to go out there and look at the posts that are just normally posts, you will notice that they are all number 2 pencils painted as such. And so you'll need to go see it to believe it. It's pretty cool. They've done a great job, so go check it out yourselves. It's pretty neat. Secondly, I just wanted to mention I had an opportunity to visit with East Valley Water District. John Mura was here, the CEO of East Valley Water District, some time ago, and I had a chance to visit with some of our team on our pathways. And I want to just thank them for donating 400 backpacks to the students at Hunt Elementary on August 6th. The teachers at Hunt are also grateful for their generosity and donating swag bags full of supplies to every Hunt teacher. It's more than $10,000 in donations. So thanks to them for being a neighbor in that school area, and thanks for their positive reception when I was able to go out to their board meeting and talk with them about our partnership. And then thirdly, I was able to attend an event with Congressman Aguilar this past Saturday, where at our Inland Career Education Center, they had been able to have a citizens awareness shop, so what people needed to do to acquire citizenship. They had some really great speakers, and just immediately there was a sense of just calm. They brought just peace to the room of, hey, we're here to help, and this is what it looks like. Laid out the process, had tons of just support personnel there, and our Inland Career Education Center has had over 130 people are registered for this process now of becoming citizens, and I think they had over 80 last year and about 80 the year previously, so those are great numbers. And then I just want to echo again our condolences to the friends and family in this community of John Futch. Our community lost a dear friend, and it's worth repeating that this Saturday, August 24th, at Cal State's Student Union from 10 to 12:30 will be the celebration of life. And Dr. Hill and I have something in common that for the 50th anniversary of Cal State, the three of us, John Futch, myself, and Dr. Hill, had to go practice relentlessly for singing in front of a group where my son played the piano. So all of us were alum or soon to be alum, so it was a great opportunity. So just want to thank him publicly for his service to our community, and I've learned a lot listening to him and watching his example, so thank you.
Yes, very wise man. Let's go ahead. Thank you for that. Let's go to 9.0, consent calendar. Any discussion? Which items do we pull? I think there's, are there any items to be pulled? Going once, going twice before I
9.28.
9.28. Any others? Okay. Let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Let's go to 9.28.
And I need to recuse myself because I'm on their executive board.
Okay, great. So let me go ahead and read that. Agreement with Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy, San Bernardino, California, to provide the Student Achievement Mentoring Program. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Let's go ahead and ask Dr. Wyatt to come back in, and we're going to 10.0, which are the action items. 10.1, personnel report number 3, dated August 20th, 2019.
As presented.
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Be resolved that the board that personnel report number 2, dated August 6th, 2019, is approved as presented. 10.2,
So moved.
And this is approval of the amendments to Board Policy 6020, Parent and Family Engagement, first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Be it resolved, the Board of Education adopts the amendments to Board Policy 6020, Parent and Family Engagement. Let's go to 10.3.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? And this is, let me read this title, Approval and Amendments of Board Policy 6178, Career Technical Education, first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Be resolved that the Board of Education adopts the amendments to Board Policy 6178, Career Technical Education. Let's go to 10.4, which reads, Resolution to approve award of leaseback construction services for Pacific High School Career Technical Education Building and Phase 1 Modernization Project.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves award of leaseback construction services for Pacific High School Career Technical Education Building and Phase 1 Modernization Project. 10.5.
10.15.
Okay, 10.15.
So
Thank you.
moved.
So that is Board Ongoing Initiatives Reports. Okay, so moved. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. 10.16, Board Top 10.
Yeah, I wanted to move number 5 at the bottom of page 64 to the number 10 spot.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
In 1017, at the bottom, there's a number 5 on the
So
educational
to be clear,
services.
yeah, to be clear, Mr. Tillman, then that would be the piece under Business Services Report on unspent funds as part of the budget process?
No.
No?
Educational
Oh,
services.
educational services, okay.
Number 5, where it says provide lists of school programs that have waiting lists.
Okay, fantastic.
Do we need a motion on that or no?
Well, I want to move it to number 10, then I'll make a motion. If
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
we have consensus to move it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So
Go ahead and make the motion.
And then I'll make a motion to
Yes.
approve after that. So, Board Top 10, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. 10.17, Board Follow-up.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Oh, I didn't hear all the ayes. Ayes? All right. All those opposed say nay. Okay, none. Motion carried. 8.18. Did I do 18? No. 10.18. Future agenda items. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. 11.0, summary of board requests.
Thank you,
Dr.
President
Volkmer.
Rosales Medina. Board, your follow-ups from tonight's board meeting are as follows. Explore the district's role and participation in the anti-littering program. Number 2, provide an update on our alarm systems, video cameras, including cost, budget, possible additional people.
And Dr. Volkmer,
yes.
Madam President, I
Yes.
forgot to mention that because we have so many computers and so much technical stuff in our high schools, I also like to know if they're protected, if they have locks, if they have, if they're, you know what I mean. I don't know how to say it. How do I say it?
The expensive.
Secure. Okay, secure.
And the
yeah.
expensive computers, they put CompuTrace on it.
Right.
So that
Oh, yeah,
it's
I would like to
LoJack.
know the security, that, and if we need more security. And the reason I raise it is because some teachers have expressed that, they have like hundreds and $1,000s of computers and equipment, and there have been break-ins, and our video cameras aren't working, and But first, it's preventative, right? We should have preventative measures to secure everything. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I added that to that same item.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Flores. Provide an update on the status of our combination classes committee. Next, we have promote the notoriety and exposure for Western Regional Little League as a important part of our community in San Bernardino. Provide an update on our CAPS waiting list. Continue to send messages. I put about free and appropriate public education, but specifically about PE uniforms and students not having to pay for things that they should have or they need to have as a part of their normal education. Promote our Chromebook program. Continue to promote our Chromebook program. Explore the possibility of making it a routine part of the registration process. And ask Mrs. Bardier to send a handwritten letter to each student. No, I'm just kidding. No way to get advice. Explore a letter from Mrs. Bardier to the parents, informing them that there's a Chromebook possibility and program open to them. Look into long lunch lines at the high schools. Next, I have explore the possibility of elective credit for our student board members. See if they can get that. Revisit the concept and practice of promotion with consideration. Keep the board updated on our health center with ongoing reports on the implementation of our health center. Explore the idea of an Asian / Pacific Islander parent advisory committee type of approach. And then finally review, what does that say? Review possible policy on a single point of entry from Mr. Gallo. And those are all the follow-ups I have.
And just to be clear, so the wait list will also include the gate?
Yes.
Because it is separated.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and before we close for adjournment, I do want to give a moment's silence for John Futch. As it was mentioned before by other board members, he was an amazing person, a great mentor, and just a person you can actually speak with on regards some of the how to just improve yourself personally. I know I've had several conversations with him when I would attend the WAG meeting and so forth. So he was a great person and a great advisor. So let's go ahead and give him a moment of silence. Thank you so much. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close 12.0. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, let's go ahead. Do I need to call out the vote? I always get confused with that one. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, okay. Meeting adjourned.